Well, Aaron, you have the home meet coming up on Friday. First off, being at home, uh, what kind of an advantage does that give you guys?
I think it gives us an advantage in terms of knowing the course. This is a really flat course, and we've ran it last year. It was a good change up from our Jones Park meet, so I think we have that advantage there. Also, we're coming off of a pretty good meet last week to give us a good feel for where we're at. So I personally feel very confident in terms of breaking 26 minutes for the 8K, and I think everybody else is ready to prove themselves as well.
How big of a confidence boost for you was last week's time in last week's race?
For me personally, I ran exactly what I was anticipating on doing, and since I'm planning on breaking 26 this week, I feel like I'm even more prepared to do that now.
All right. Okay. Well, Kelsey, first off, last week's race, how big of a confidence boost for you was that?
It was a good confidence boost. It was my first cross country race ever. I never ran cross country in high school. I'm just running to try to help the team out, so it felt good to be able to help them. I'm hoping that it will help push them and make them want to step up to the plate, and I'm hoping they'll beat me by the end of the year. I know this is more important for them than it is for me being a sprinter on the team, so I'm just hoping that all the training I'm doing with them that's helping me, I can turn around and help them as well.
Being a sprinter, running the distances during the fall, are you trying out a new training technique?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, we're definitely packing up on volume in the fall to try to help condition me for the spring. It's been a lot different, but I can already see improvements on cross country courses and in workouts that I'm doing for track, so I think it will really benefit me. So.
We had a real hard-fought race last week at Missouri Southern. We had some girls that laid it all on the line, and just I think their bodies pretty much gave out on them the last 50 meters or so. But I mean, as a coach, to see a young group of girls that are able to fight and give it all they've got early in the season like that, I think that's going to set us up well for later on in the year. I think our girls are capable of running quite a bit faster overall than we did this past weekend. And with the guys, we went to that meet, a little bit of pressure on them. Had some MIAA teams that we felt like we could really compete with. We were able to be ahead of one of them, and we were really close to a couple of others. I feel like if a couple of things would have went our way, we would have been quite a ways ahead of a few of those teams. I think we have the ability to be ahead of about half the teams in our conference if we run up to our potential. We've got some guys that are still trying to get there, but it's a great meet for us this weekend, racing against a lot of NAIAs and junior college teams where we're going to be able to pack it up as a group. And there's so many athletes in that race last week, kind of get mixed up in the shuffle there. So it would be nice to kind of pack it up as a group and see if we can kind of assert our will on a few of those teams and finish up in the front with as many guys as we can.
Well, when you're dealing with a lot of young athletes like you guys have, how much does it help you to be at home? Of course, you guys have maybe not able to do a ton with yet, but that you can study and kind of know how it plays out. How much does that help you guys going in Friday?
I think the biggest thing is just being able to sleep in our own beds, get up to a course that they're pretty familiar with, and having the home team fans out there. We're going to have the whole track and field team out there supporting them, so I know they really enjoy running in front of their teammates that maybe don't get to see as much cross country throughout the season. So that in itself is going to be a big boost for them. I think that maybe when we get to that last half mile of the race and they've got their teammates screaming at them, that's going to be that little bit extra motivation that they need to get there and maybe pass that one or two extra people.
And what have you seen out of Brian Newkirk in the first couple of weeks, and what are you kind of expecting out of him this weekend?
Brian Newkirk's an interesting guy. I remember when he came here on his visit, he had been at Ottawa for a year. We thought, well, I guess we'll let you walk on. He was really nothing special out of high school, his first year at Ottawa, and he's come here and just transformed himself into a new runner. And every time we think that this is about what Brian can do, he ends up just setting the bar that much higher, and it blows me away how much better he's gotten and how committed he's becoming to be a all-out distance runner, and just the effect that's had on some of the younger guys. Seeing a guy who really wasn't born with that much talent, but is getting everything out of his ability, it's just really had a huge impact on some of our other guys. And if it wasn't for him, a lot of those younger guys we have on our team wouldn't be running as well as they are.
Talk a little bit, this might be as warm as we've ever had for the ESU Invitational. Just talk about anything special with the heat now.
Well, that's going to be, it was a little bit warm last weekend at Missouri Southern, a little warmer than we were maybe planning on it being. It's going to be they're saying in the 80s on Friday. A little warm for a distance race, but like I always try to tell them, you can't make excuses. It's the same temperature for everybody out there, so it's going to be how you deal with it, how you handle it. So we'll keep on pressing them about staying hydrated. That starts this week, getting plenty of water, making sure your body's ready for it. So a lot of it's going to come down to just the mental aspect and the mindset of, are they going to get halfway through the race when it starts to get tough and start to think about the heat as an excuse, or are they going to be able to just dig down and push through that and allow it to maybe interfere and hurt some of the other teams out there. But we fight through it. I think we can run hot, cold, it shouldn't matter. So our job is to have them prepared to run in whatever conditions happen to be out there that day, and to perform well no matter what.
We were hoping for a little bit better performance out of Missouri Southern, but we had solid marks across the board. But this is kind of that middle part of the season where you're trying to evaluate where are we going to go. We have some expectations set, and now it's just about building consistency and getting some races under the belt. Find out where we're at after this weekend.
Obviously, probably a lot of kids looking forward to running here in town for a change, get a chance to compete. How much are you kind of looking forward to seeing getting to compete on the home?
We love that course. In fact, we're very grateful, for what the municipal course has done for us, letting us go in there and more or less invade it. It's a huge draw for us. We're going to have, hundreds of athletes, parents out there. It's a great way that we can showcase, Emporia, Kansas, out in the country. It's a great setting for a meet and a phenomenal facility. So to be on the home course and we're excited to be there, and I know our kids are excited to get in front of their teammates. So it should be good.
Just really quickly, I wanted to ask you about Kelsey as well, and how important has she been? Obviously, a lot of young kids, you lose gals like Emily and Mercy from last year. You at least knew what to expect out of them. How much has she been? How much do you feel like she's impacted your young team?
Well, one of the things that we always try and go for is to try and put our athletes in position for them to be most successful. And this is going to be a stepping stone for Kelsey, for her 400-meter hurdle training, and for hopefully to maybe work the 800 meters indoors. But she's just a force. We threw her to the wolves last weekend. She'd never done it in her life. Did a great job. But I think that we, as happy as we are that she's our number one, we've got other girls that we want to pass her. So she's trying to make them better. They're making her better. So it's really a win-win for all of them involved. And we'll see how it plays out this weekend. But excited for what she's done and excited for the rest of the team. So.